Hey Aquarius, welcome to the channel. It's Romy here. This is your September reading. So if you have Aquarius sun, rising or moon, this reading might well resonate for you. My soul stories are a blend of tarot energies, working with my guides and tuning into the astrological events for the month ahead. So if you're enjoying my work, please make sure you drop me a like and a comment, any feedback that you have, and let's dive right in and see what's coming up this month for you. Okay, Aquarius, we're into Virgo season, and the earth magic of this very healing sign is going to activate your 8th house of deep transformation and rebirth. So likely to be shedding a skin this month, which can feel uncomfortable, but also has the opportunity for a really powerful breakthrough for you. And we open up with the 8 of Swords. Now this card's been making an appearance in almost every reading in September, and I'm going to articulate the same message that has come through for other signs, because traditionally this can be a card of real anxiety and stress, but in this particular deck it's coming through to me in a way that she is protecting herself. This is almost like her spiritual armor, because there's something that she needs to work through, to process, to integrate, to heal from. And there's an awareness that there's a little bit of space and a still point that's required in order for that to land, okay? So we open up your reading with this sense of you're going to need some time this month, because there's a huge rebalancing. Remember, we've got equinox energy coming in on the 22nd of this month, which is going to powerfully shift something forward. And we've got both Jupiter and Saturn also waking up and moving direct. So you're likely to see a lot of things starting to show up, and actually could come in quite quickly. And then just to make sure that you're fully ready to receive, I think there's going to be a moment that you find yourself in just needing to take a step back and figure out, and just make sure that, you know, what you're asking for, where your thought forms are, you know, what you've surrounded yourself with is all the things that you actually want and are connected in at a deeper heart level for you, knowing what you now know, okay? And interestingly, the note that came through as I was connecting into your energy was that this idea of there being this constant tension between what we create and what we destroy. They're two sides of the same coin, yes? So it's almost like as you meet this powerful ending, as you meet this point of finality and closure in your life over something, and you give yourself a moment to just reflect on it, at that very moment, you've just created something new in yourself. Something has just been born from that realization. And this is all very linked into the fact that we're still doing so much work in your 12th house, yeah? So all of these outer planets in Capricorn activating that part of your chart where there is work being done behind the scenes and within you. Now the 10 of Swords, again, for me in this read, has just an incredibly peaceful feeling to it. So I'm not looking at this as like opening up your month with this kind of horrendous you know, kind of ending or like dramatic feeling that can sometimes come through with that energy. What I'm picking up is this deep sense of acceptance of the challenges that you have endured, and an understanding that you need to take a moment to unearth what the blessing is and find the gift, because that's what's going to recalibrate you. That's what's going to help your soul to open up to the next level, yeah? And through that, you are just finding this powerful new way, this new approach of dealing with something that may still be a problem or a trigger or something that you have to deal with, but you're just looking at it completely differently. Now, look at the contrast of the colours even as we pull this 9 of Pentacles for you, because this is really where you're at. That's what I mean. Like, this is not an energy that's coming in for you. This is more about the peaceful acceptance of the inevitability of having to release or let go of something, but needing space with which to just let that process happen. And here we have you feeling out of that process a level of self-awareness, this self-directed outlook that's all about celebrating every aspect of yourself, celebrating your journey, celebrating what you've been through, knowing that through it you have accomplished so much that no one can really take that away from you, you know. So yes, for some of you this is about the material gain coming through, and actually this month is really fortuitous for some real reward and recognition on a tangible level. But actually what I'm linking into is that this is far more spiritual. This is about you recognizing your worth and the accomplishment of the evolution of your soul at that kind of a level, you know, and just feeling comfortable with that. You know, there's an element of settling into yourself. And I think to those Aquarius energies who have been feeling the restlessness and the inability to kind of almost settle in your own soul, I think there's something about this month of September that's going to bring in some real peace for you, and I think that's going to be incredibly welcomed. Now, on the 2nd of the month, we've got full moon in Pisces, this water energy, bringing in really deep wisdom. It's sextile to Uranus, so there's a kind of unexpected, surprising quality to it, and I think that's going to be to do with some of the revelations that come through. But again, it's in your second house of value. And so some of you might be finding that you're prepared to, you know, raise your prices. If it's something that you're doing in your own business, that 9 of Pentacles can be very much about our entrepreneurship. It may be that you're prepared to ask for the pay rise, like to, you know, reveal to the people in your life what your wants and needs are in a whole new way, you know. And it's come from this breakthrough. It's come from this kind of looking at a situation from the inside out and from a completely different vantage point, and recognizing something that allows you to release and let go of the block, the thing that was kind of holding you back. Now it's interesting because it sort of looks like there's coins kind of falling all around him here, and it's almost this recognition that, you know, yes, of course you may be trying to attain and seeking more material wealth and abundance, but, you know, money is just an energy, and what we're really doing is building up that level of deep emotional security within yourself so that your external manifestation is just naturally being drawn towards you. So with the Hangman here, what I'm seeing is a spiritual breakthrough that says, you know, the shift that's taking place deeper within me means that, you know, my money story, my abundance, my material possession, the success, the acclaim, the recognition, whatever it is that I'm seeking from a professional capacity is inevitable because I have changed and I now see my value. And for others, it's going to be this recognition that actually perhaps that's not even relevant or important. There's something that's calling me, that's pulling me forward at this moment, that's so much bigger than just thinking about the stuff that I have around me. You know, I now want to be around people who resonate with me on a deeper level. I want the relationships that, you know, I find deeply stimulating and nourishing and fulfilling. It's not about anything that's shallow or frivolous. It just doesn't feel like it's going to work. There's no loss here. There's only gain. Ace of Pentacles. It's almost like you have to let go of something to gain something. Let go of something to gain something. And it's in that moment of stillness and this kind of deploying of almost like your spiritual armor to protect you as you figure that out, that you're going to reach this real beautiful shift. Beautiful shift. Now, 5th of the month, Mercury moves into Libra, 9th house of expansion. So the way that you communicate is with charm. It's diplomatic. It has real charisma and a chemistry to it that people want to hear what you have to say. Not only that, Mars in Aries is in your 3rd house of communication, so what you have to say is packing a punch. So your ideas, your inspirations, what you're bringing to the table matters, you know. But the one thing that might be missing, not for all of you, that might be missing is just your belief in that. Is your belief that actually what you are seeing or what you do have to offer, or what you do want to bring, can make the difference, is worth what someone wants to pay. And I think for some of you, that's why this month's going to see a big breakthrough just in and around the way that you respond to your value and your money. Now, if this is in and around relationships, it's kind of the same thing, because if you're not valuing yourself, you're maybe not receiving love on a level that you should be, you know, or you're not attracting in the right kind of energies that are supportive and allowing you to grow and coming in on a very conscious, awake level. But again, what we're seeing is that you're letting go of something, an old story, an old way of looking at things. Perhaps there's some forgiveness that needs to happen. You know, 8th house is very much about emotional intimacy. It does connect into marriage, shared resources. So, you know, there's perhaps some endings or changes or adjustments that need to take place in order for something to go to the next level, okay? Remember what I said, this idea about there being a tension, you know, constant tension between what is created and what is destroyed. And literally these two cards are kind of symbolizing that for you here from an imagery perspective. Now this stag comes right into the forefront of the picture with such a sense of nobility. It's just completely majestic, isn't it, the way that it looks? It knows its value. It knows what it has to offer. And so does the figure in the 9 of Pentacles here. She absolutely knows what she has to offer. So the theme that you're working with this beautiful earth medicine, you know, and Virgo's asking you, what is your medicine? For you, I feel, Aquarius, it's about coming into total alignment with knowing what it is that you have to bring forth right now into the collective, into your relationships, to the growth that you have on your own spiritual journey. That's where you're going to just see some really beautiful big breakthroughs, okay? Now, the new moon in Virgo on the 17th of the month is also activating a sun trine Saturn, which is bringing in this sense of high achievement, okay? Now, we have to be careful because Virgo can get super critical, right? And we can start to doubt ourselves a little bit. And we can set some really high expectations, and then if we feel they've not been met, we can get really down on ourselves or kind of feel like disappointed or that somehow we've been held back or not able to fulfill our potential. So there's a little bit of a tricky energy that comes in with that 5, but it's kind of showing up in 2 different ways for me. First of all, I feel it's just saying, look, once you come to this awareness, and you are going to start to see some things showing up in the real tangible way that you have wanted them to for some time, okay? Absolutely. But so much of this work is about what you're planting as a seed for the future, and sometimes that takes a time because the ace is the beginning of something, okay? And the hangman is suggesting that sometimes there's a process, and that may feel from a linear perspective, if you look at time, that there's a delay, but actually I want to invite you to recognize that it's already in existence. It's simply about your focus upon it and your allowance from an energy vibration perspective to the recognition of that, okay? But because that is shown up, there may well be some slight disappointment on your part that something has not fully realized itself just yet. But know that it's coming. And this goes back to the acceptance and knowing your value and what you've done, that everything that you've put in is enough. It is enough. Now, what I'm also picking up with this that you need to be aware of is that I feel that there is someone external to you that is going to be unable to fulfill a commitment or have to let you down in some way. Now, that may or may not be within their control. If I'm really honest, I think perhaps they could handle it differently, but I think it is what it is. And you are perhaps going to be left having to make a decision as to how you're going to handle it. So it's going to have an impact on you directly in one way or another. Now, this could be within a relationship. It might be something connected to work, but I feel it kind of may leave you feeling a little bit deflated in terms of the way that it's unfolded or how it's happened. So it feels a little bit tricky. And I want you to just really pause and allow yourself to notice where your mind is taking you when it happens, okay? Because there'll be this absolute pull to try to respond in an old way. And you can bet that the first response that you have is old conditioning. But if you just allow yourself to take a couple of deep breaths and then realize how far you've come in the growth and who you are and where you now stand and what it is that you want, you can look at this situation from a different perspective and go a little bit deeper into what it's trying to show you, because there's something there that's really healing, and there's also something about forgiveness. Now, the forgiveness might be towards yourself because you've had a specific response, or it may be towards another person, or just the situation, because life continuously throws us these curveballs that, you know, oh, two came out there, we'll just take them both, who, you know, it throws us these curveballs where we, you know, have our expectations being disrupted. Okay, so just be aware of that. I don't think it's anything major, but I do think it's going to be poignant enough that it's coming in to try to show you and demonstrate something to you, and you have a real possibility again to just have an amazing breakthrough with it. Okay, so here we've got the card of the Strength, and we've also got the Queen of Pentacles coming in. Now, there's a couple of things that come up with this. Now, we may well have a Leo energy that's important. Okay, Venus is moving into the sign of Leo on the 6th, into your 7th house of relationships, by the way. So we could have an effect on what's happening in and around your personal connections. But your Queen of Pentacles here, I think, is kind of interesting. Now, I'm feeling like this is an earth sign, or certainly somebody embodying that earth medicine energy. So Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. But what they're trying to show you, Aquarius, because it's something you can learn from. So this is someone showing up. May already be someone that you know, or somebody new that's coming in, or a situation that's going to take this on. And what they're showing you is that there's an easier way. There's an easier way to do this. You know, you might have been like throwing everything in the kitchen sink to try and get the love of your life, or to try and get your business launched, or to try and find the job of your dreams, or to try and lose 2 stone, or whatever the goal is. And it's almost like you've gone around it in a way that's just perhaps at times felt really exhausting. And here my Queen steps forward, and she's like standing in the lap of luxury here with this sense of quiet grace and nobility, knowing her value, and quite happily putting it on show and saying, this is what I have to offer. If you want it, you come talk to me. Otherwise, I'll remain here and open and receptive to the people who are ready to receive me. But I'm not going to make my way towards you. I'm not going to try to hustle for this. I don't need to force anything. And that's exactly what Mars retrograde is telling us, right? This is not a time to force or bring any kind of coercion or emotional manipulation to any situation. That's going to backfire on you. So this is a time to recognize where the energy is flowing and how we can do things in a way that's easier on us and still achieve the same outcome. And I think you're going to get the idea, the inspiration of how to do that. And I also think that someone may well show up, or you may well be inspired by someone who's done it in such a way that shows you you don't have to work so hard. You don't have to exhaust yourself. You don't have to split your energies in 1,000 different ways to arrive at the same outcome. However, this card of the Strength, now she's gazing up toward the galaxy, toward the stars, because they're showing her the way. And in a way, Aquarius, you couldn't really arrive at this point of understanding in terms of what the Queen of Pentacles has to share with you. Now, this may be male or female, by the way. It's just the embodiment of the energy. You couldn't arrive at it without having gone through this arduous journey and learned so much about yourself. So that inner strength that you've gained, that quiet dignity that's come from, probably at times some pretty wretched moments that maybe the outside world didn't see and were happening deep within you as you kind of unearthed another layer and another layer and another layer. But it's that beautiful strength that you have now carved out that isn't going anywhere. No one can take that away from you, And again, it's almost like the release of all the difficult aspects of the journey. Yeah, coins falling, swords like bringing the closure. But what you keep is the strength that you've gained. And then that's what's working and bringing in this rejuvenation, this restorative kind of energy that allows something new to bloom. Okay, so I see this energy being just incredibly healing for you as you move through the month, and that you could really find yourself being very comfortably productive and focused if you allow yourself to just get really clear on finding the right approach and the right way forward for you. Now, Page of Cups coming in here. Could be a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but more than that, what I'm picking up is it's just the incoming energy of really something positive to lift your spirit, okay? Something that's coming in that I feel is activating and unleashing your muse, your creativity. It's getting you thinking, and it may be again connected to what this person is showing you, demonstrating you, telling you, sharing with you, because I feel that you're kind of going to take it and run with it, you know. And there's like almost the requirement that you kind of put aside any skepticism, that you put aside any negativity, that you put aside what anyone else has to say about the matter, and you just need to kind of go back into that almost childlike state of wonder and curiosity, because that's when you're going to start to see this beautiful solution start to unfold. You know, you've got very supportive, rooted, anchored, tangible, real earth energies that are going to deliver for you, but it has to be blended with a little bit of that practical magic, and that's where I see that Page of Cups coming in. If this is about relationships, I think that communication feels a little bit easier and more meaningful and more heart-led, and perhaps that has been after a time of real challenge or conflict or disappointment, okay? Now, Mars retrograde can be a little bit tough on relationships, and so you're going to have to make sure that your heart is staying open to receive what somebody else's perspective and point of view is, and equally, again, you need to almost suspend judgment on something and invite someone else to do the same till you both figure it out and find a way forward, okay? There's a lot of quiet strength and dignity. You don't need to be shouty this month. It's not about kind of trying to force anything. All of the energies, the 9, the Ace here, the Strength card, even the Queen of Pentacles, everything is quiet. It's just quiet. It's just getting on with it. It's being really discerning. It's knowing. It's using that wisdom. And it's making maximum impact. And that's what I'm seeing happening. So you might not choose to say a lot, but what you do have to say is going to make a huge difference, both to yourself, but also the people and the energies around you, okay? I'm also just having this sense of that full moon, which is in the kind of water sign of Pisces, okay? Remember, full moons are about revelations. They're about secrets. They're about things coming to light. And again, I think something perhaps coming to light connected to a situation that has felt unpredictable, unreliable, and really kind of left you feeling a little bit disconnected. Okay, so there's something about information that's coming to light that, again, you know, you'll have an invitation of what you choose to do with it, Aquarius. Okay, and I think that where we can see the progress is when you choose to understand the gift or the blessing from the challenge, right? And remember, equinox energy coming in on the 22nd when we move into Libra season, which is into your 9th house of expansion. It's that philosophical outlook on life, you know, that really just says, you know, it is what it is, and I can really take the higher ground from it. And if I can find a way to do that each and every time, then you're going to move mountains in terms of your thought forms, and also in the things that start to show up for you. Okay, so just be aware of that surfacing. But I also think that any information and knowledge is going to be helpful for you. Okay, but you know, that 8 of Swords, that moment of quiet, peaceful space that's required with a little bit of protection around it, okay? So don't be afraid to sort of assert your boundaries where you need to as you take time to consider or to process something that may unfold for you this month, okay? So let's take a look at these oracle cards, see how they are reflecting your main reading. The Storyteller, beautiful. Okay, so for those of you who are looking to express yourself, to publish, to write, to communicate, to present, to share, fantastic energy that's really supportive of you just getting your story out, getting the words down on paper. Just begin, you know, just start. That Ace of Pentacles suggests that you're going to have some really beautiful ideas with which to connect to. And actually the Queen of Pentacles is going to give you the commitment and the kind of the sustenance, you know. It's almost like you're going to be able to keep going, you know. So if you are trying to get something over the line, and remember that beautiful new moon in Virgo coming in on the 17th is going to be really supportive of that coming in. But also let's be aware of the stories and the narratives that are just old news now. They're old news, you know. And like I said, I think there's going to be one or two moments that surface through this month that are going to trigger you in a way that you're going to have a response from an old conditioning. But look, here's the key, and you will unlock something through that story, through that awareness, okay? Now, I love this kind of old-fashioned nib and ink here, you know, and I think that there's something about Virgo energy that wants us to fix the things that are broken, not necessarily go out and look for the most modern and the shiniest and the latest. It's almost like look around you in your life and see the things that perhaps you've been quick to discard or let go of, and see that with a little bit of TLC you can bring them back to life. You know, there's something about that connection. And actually it's interesting because a lot of that 12th house energy with Jupiter and Saturn moving direct, and you know, the outer planet still being in Capricorn in your 12th house is a strong link into your ancestral lineage, you know, to that kind of deep karmic patterning. And again, there's just something about a traditional approach, or sort of looking back to how things were done in the past and perhaps learning something from that, or taking something on board from that about the way that you approach something. So there's a nurturing and a gentle quality that I pick up with that as well, that I think can be helpful in the way that you're dealing with things through this month. Yeah. So these are crystal oracle cards. Let's take a look. Auralite, beautiful. Well, first thing I notice is just this lovely indigo purple colour that's coming in, which for me is just really linking into your crown chakra, and it's almost being lit up here by the yellow, and we can almost see like lightning bolts coming down. So again, there's this epiphany, there's this powerful spiritual breakthrough that I think is coming through. Very metaphysical energy to work with, and I'm kind of picking up and you know, I'm not sure of the exact connection, if there is one, but what I pick up is that this is going to be really helpful in and around your mental health. So if there's also something that you're struggling with on that level, then Auralite, I feel, is bringing in a lightness or a deeply spiritual energy that can really help soothe what's going on in the mental body of your auric field. Okay, so perhaps that might be a crystal or a stone that you would like to connect with and help you to link into that angelic realm, to your guides, and to just open up to the spiritual wisdom that, you know, you can almost channel through the words or through the ideas or through the way that you're approaching relationships and things that are taking place in your life. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Yogic Journey Oracle cards just out. Really beautiful deck. Sattva. Okay, what I love here is this open doorway, this beautiful portal that you're stepping through, and it's so Aquarian in energy, isn't it? Look at all the cloud formation here. Again, it's almost like the opening, the awakening of the third eye. And I think even for those of you who are already so conscious and awake and have done so much work over the years, you know, and I know that the people connecting in to my channel and to the work that I do have done so much of their soul work, and yet this year this month also has pushed us even beyond in terms of like opening up more and more and more. So that awakening is profound. Now she kind of has a veil that's almost like wrapped around her a little bit. So and the clouds feel like perhaps there's something that's yet to still be fully revealed to you, and so there's a quality and an element of trust and just kind of having to walk through that doorway without fully seeing what's on the other side yet. but understanding again that, you know, you're very deeply protected, and this is about honoring yourself and giving yourself space, again, like that Eight of Swords. I kind of almost want to say that I'm linking the Eight of Swords into that. It's that peaceful, quiet, ritual time that you need to just work through something, because that's when the information's just going to land and going to make sense and open something up for you. So allow time through this month to really connect into your higher self, to meditate, to do that conscious breath work. Aquarius, I hope that's helped, giving you a little bit of insight for this month ahead. Thanks for tuning in. I always love to connect with your energy. So this was a general reading. For the extended, if you'd like to join me, you'll find the link for that in the description box underneath. We're going to pull a couple of cards for a question that you might have that I have not answered in this main general spread. So I'd just like you to focus on that for me now. Just put a little bit of intention towards it, and we'll pull a couple of cards. Okay. And do, you know, drop me a comment, let me know how this plays out for you. Remember to check back in with the readings, because, you know, they're covering the whole month of September, and of course we know timing isn't linear, so some of these themes are going to be playing out over the next few weeks for you as well. But I love to hear your feedback, and, you know, I really appreciate your likes and comments. It helps to support the channel. So as we clarify the Eight of Swords, we have the Queen of Cups here. Again, that very passive, receptive water energy here coming through. You know, weighing something up, choices and decisions to be made here. Two of Coins. Ten of Swords is bringing in another Ace of Coins. I love this. Like we said, it's the tension between what you're creating and what you're destroying, and really finding the level of trust between those 2 points. You know, that's what I think you're going to be working with this month, and that's deeply connected to your spiritual purpose and your soul work. Card of Judgment coming through, really linking into this moment of rebirth, this change that's happening. Three of Swords. Sun. Okay, we've got another Nine of Coins coming in here. Lovely. I love all this earth energy that you're going to be working with. I just think it's just going to feel so medicinal for you. There you go, King of Coins. It's the way you're choosing to invest. You know, there's so much planning that I think is going to be coming through for you this month. Page of Coins. And just giving yourself permission to start over somewhere perhaps, or begin again, become the student again. Now this is what I'm talking about when I said that the Queen of Pentacles is showing you a better way, because the way that you're doing something or approaching something is exhausting, and it doesn't need to be that difficult. Maybe it's connected into relationships. We'll look into that a little bit more in the extended. King of Swords here. Is it a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, I feel? Five of Swords bringing in the Four of Swords and the Six of Swords. So we talked about that being a tricky situation. There's a little bit more information that's come through with that, so we'll explore that more. Strength card bringing you the Fool. Some nice ace energy showing up this month, Aquarius. So Page of Cups coming in with the Moon. Remember I talked about some revelations coming in around that Pisces moon. So it's just being validated further for us just now. Also got the card of Sagittarius coming in with Temperance, or perhaps it's connected also into an earth sign. I don't feel that the Queen of Pentacles here. I'm kind of picking up these as two different people, so maybe male or female. We'll check into that. Oh, beautiful. Ace of Cups. And the Lovers. Lovely. Okay, Aquarius, thank you so much for joining me. If you are coming into the extended, then we'll continue this conversation. Thank you for supporting me. Otherwise, I'll talk to you again next month. Have a beautiful month ahead.